So I want to take a couple of minutes and talk to you about how to be successful. And through my life, I have realized, more and more success, and I've become more and more effective at what I do. And part of that is just like in exchange for losing the beauty of youth. If you're paying attention and if you're watching courses like this and trying to educate yourself and learn and grow, you become more knowledgeable about what works and what does not work. And so here are some of the things which I wish somebody had shared with me when I was younger. And there's some of the things I've learned over my life. I'm 45, and I find them really valuable and really important. And I also find that not a lot of people know all of this stuff. So I just want to pass it on to you because I want you to be successful. I want you to realize your goals, your dreams. I want you to become an outstanding, contributing member of society. I want you to, succeed as an employee or launch your own business and become a successful business person. And then provide great jobs for people and give back to the community and do good things in the world. And so you are on your way, and I'm here to help you. And that's what I love about education. It's a total win-win all around. It's really, to me, the noblest of endeavors. What you are doing is one of the noblest of endeavors. And by improving yourself, you are improving the world. You're forwarding your skill set, you're learning. As you gain more skills, you're going to be able to teach others and help others in the world. It's really great. So here are some of the things I've learned, some of the most important things I've learned about how to succeed, because I want you to not only succeed in this course, but also in life. So the first one is focus. And focus is hugely important. And focus is like, if you are able to focus light enough, that light can burn through steel, like in this picture here. That light becomes a laser, and that light can go through steel. So if you have great focus, this is one of the most important things that you can do to be successful. There was a meeting, like some luncheon, at least this is the cultural myth. I don't remember where I learned this, but it was a luncheon of billionaires, and Bill Gates was there, and Warren Buffett was there, along with a bunch of others. And they asked people, in one word, if you could summarize what has contributed to your success more than anything else, write in one word, write that one word down. And so everybody wrote their one word down, and then they stood up and read them. And Bill Gates and Warren Buffett wrote the exact same word, and that word was focus. And so having a focus means you set a priority, and that's your focus, and it's your number one priority. And come hell or high water, you're making that happen. So if your priority is to get like a bachelor's degree, and that's my number one priority, and regardless of what happens, I'm going to keep going, and any obstacles come up, I'm going to go through them and climb over them and break that wall down. Eventually, with that kind of a focus, you're getting your bachelor's degree because your intent, your energy, your life force, everything behind you is your number one goal. I'm going to achieve that. And so that kind of focus is hugely important. I really learned about focus in my 30s. I became super interested in enlightenment and spirituality, and I studied all of these different religions just like as I was reading about it. And then, a lot of the religions talk about taking time to be silent or to meditate or to go to nature. And so I thought, okay, cool. That's what I'm going to do. Every day, I'm going to meditate 1 hour a day. And for 7 years, until my son was born, because when my son was born, I said, well, that's an hour I could spend with my son. But for 7 years, every day, I meditated at least 1 hour. Sat there, silent, my legs crossed, my eyes closed, meditating, because I was curious, what happens? All of these different traditions talk about the importance of this. What happens if you do it? It was totally awesome. It's very cool. That's a completely different training I'd like to make at some point, just to talk about everything I learned, enlightenment and all that. But that focus, that was my number one focus. Come hell or high water, I'm making this one thing happen today. I'm doing my 1 hour. And if I missed it on one day, I would make it up on the next by doing 2 hours. So that sounds totally intense, and it is. That was my number one focus. Every day it happens. And if you have that kind of focus, that kind of commitment, you're going to make things happen. So the important thing is to figure out what's important to you and make your number one priority. And then every day take a step to make it happen. I had a teacher one time talk about filling the bucket. I really like this analogy too. He said, every day, just add a drop to the bucket. Every day, you're taking a step towards your goal. Add a drop. And after 3 months, you might look in your bucket and say, wow, there's not much water in there. But you keep adding that drop every day. And at the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, you're going to be like, holy cow, look at how much water's in that bucket. It takes time, but consistent, persistent, daily, taking steps, adding that drop to the bucket, you're going to get to whatever goal you want to achieve. So focus is one of the most, if not the most important things you can do to be successful. The next thing is to have some forethought. What do you want to focus upon? Because the seeds you plant today will be the crop you harvest tomorrow. You got to plant the right seeds. You got to plan ahead. You got to have some forethought. You can't just wake up and expect to be, rich overnight, get rich quick schemes or something like that. You just have to, set your goal, plant those seeds, and keep tending that garden every day, so to speak, metaphorically, right? And eventually the seeds you plant will be the crop you harvest tomorrow. And so the Buddha, studying religion, the Buddha put it this way: mind is the forerunner of all things. As you think and act, so your world becomes. Love that quote. So the next thing, which I found really helpful, and sometimes, I'm a little bit of a cynic when it comes to these, like, I don't know, there's one guy who has books like, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those kinds of books, I've always been a little bit like, because it's like, I don't know, let's make more money. And money's important in life and everything, but I don't know, some of those books. But this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, this book was fantastic. I love Stephen Covey's book. There's actually a lot of spirituality in this book and a lot of really good principles. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I really recommend, if you don't get the book, better yet, get the audio tape. Download the MP3, get the CD, whatever, and listen to it, because he has a quality to his voice which gets conveyed just in his personality. And what he talks about are really great principles for living life well and realizing whatever goals you want to realize, and how do you go about doing it. I like this book so much, I summarized in my own words the 7 habits of highly effective people. And you can see them here. I love the first 3. All 7 are good. But the first 3, be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first. Great principles. And I made this as a poster, and I printed it out large, and I have it framed and hanging on my wall. It's totally cool. So I'm giving this poster to you. And if you go to the course documents, right, this video index, you can see right here is a link to that poster. You could download this, you can print it, and you could hang it on your wall, because I really think it's a great book. So to get to this course resource, to get to the document with all these course resources, you go to that URL right there, and then you just scroll down, and here are the files in this video, this lecture right here, and you could get that poster and hang it on your wall. It's cool. All right, so the next thing is time on task. So I do not recommend this book. This guy is like highly academic, but the main takeaway of this book is a good one. So Malcolm Gladwell studied successful people, and he's like, what makes them successful? And the thing that he learned is 10,000 hours and having a good mentor, a good teacher. You got to have both. So it takes time on task, and then time on task spent well, right? So you got to put in the time, but you also have to make sure that you're being trained well, whoever's training you. And so 10,000 hours, it's basically like 4 hours a day for 10 years or something like that. But people sometimes say to me, wow, Todd, you're a really great teacher. Well, guess what? I wasn't when I started, but I've been doing it 20 years now. So I know how to organize material. I know how to talk about it. I know how to convey people. I know how to change my voice, the quality of my voice, so that when people listen to me, it's not just boring, drudgery, monotone, right? Like, I've learned all these things, 10,000 hours. So the next thing is grit. So this is a great video. I already mentioned this in the promo video for this course, but you need to go watch Angela Lee Duckworth's TED Talk on grit. So I put the YouTube link in there, and that's fantastic. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is a quote I like about Bill Gates. It's just like straightforward. I think it's really important. It's one of the things I think about. But that quote is, again, he was talking about what led to success. He said, well, if you want to be successful, just get in front of what's coming and let it hit you. And I really think that's pretty insightful, because nobody's buying buggy whips. Like slide rulers, bad business to go into probably. But thinking about stuff that people need today or that they're going to need in 2 years, and then creating a business to meet that need or whatever, that's good thinking. So those are my some of the things that I've learned, some of the most important things I've learned over my 45 years from others, right? And also from my personal experience, verified with my personal experience, about what's helped me be successful. And I hope it's helpful to you.